Hey guys, welcome to the chapter 3 of Mulesoft RPA series, and currently we are in the design phase of my Mulesoft RPA lifecycle. So this is the introduction about the speaker, which is me. I am Megesh Shenoy. I am a Salesforce developer with 2 plus years of experience. I am also a Salesforce and a MuleSoft certified developer. Recently, I was awarded by MuleSoft with Up and Comers Award. I am also a MuleSoft mentor and an active member of Salesforce Trailblazer Community Forum. So this is the diagram which you all be going through, right? You all must be knowing about this RPA lifecycle diagram. So we were in the evaluate phase previously, and now we are in the design phase. So once we have come at a conclusion that the process is best fit to be automated using MuleSoft RPA, we would now proceed to the design phase, right? Now it's the primary role of a business analyst or an individual who has a proper knowledge about the process that needs to be automated should be involved in the design phase. So whenever we design our candidate RPA process, we draw a flowchart with each block that represents an action or an activity that would be automated by using MuleSoft RPA. Once we design, we then move to the build phase where the developers will be involved in actual implementation of the RPA bot process. So there are two ways we can design our candidate RPA process. The first one is using the BPMN editor in the RPA Manager, and the second one is using an RPA recorder. Now the special thing over here is that we can design our candidate RPA process in irrespective of whichever operating system you are using. Why? Because RPA Manager is available on the cloud, but whereas the RPA recorder application needs to be involved in your local Windows machine or on a VM, so it only supports a Windows operating machine. You can't use it on your Mac. The Mulesoft RPA BPMN editor is where you will be designing your RPA process initially, right? And this is only available in your Mulesoft RPA Manager, which is on the cloud, and also in your Mulesoft RPA Builder. Now, this RPA Builder is only available when you are in the build phase. The flowchart primarily consists of start event, or the flowchart or a BPM, and primarily consists of start event or a task and exclusive gateway. We would be going through definition of each of this, right? Now the flowchart which I was calling is also called a business process model notation. Again, reiterating myself, the flowchart which we design in our design phase of a RPA process or in the BPN editor, it is called a business process model notation. And this diagram can be created in our RPA manager, BPMN editor, or by using an RPA recorder. So these are the BPMN symbols which we'll be going through, and these symbols are quite common and you will be using it very often. So we need to know about the symbols, right? Or the BPMN elements we call it. Now the first one is the arrow which we see. It's also called a connection element. Now this connects two different flow elements. The second one is the start event. So this start event node would be present in your each and every RPA bot process. By default, there can only be one start event which will already be present in your flow. The third one is the stop event, which represents the end of a flow. So in a model, there can only be one start event, but there can be multiple stop event. The another set of symbols or elements are time boundary event, bot task, user task, and exclusive gateway. Let me explain you the last three. So the bot task, this represents the code that is run in RPA bot. So basically whatever task you want to get automated would be present in your bot task, which is represented with the two gear icons present on a rectangle. The second one is the user task. Sometimes your RPA bot process needs some human intervention or needs some human inputs, right? So for that case, we'll be using the user task, which represents using a human symbol rectangle. The exclusive gateway is in very simple terms as an if else block. If condition is true, then execute this bot task or this element, else execute another set of elements. Now, where does the timer boundary event comes into the picture? So basically, if I can give an example, that if suppose your bot process needs some human intervention. Now I don't want my bot to be stuck there for an entire single day, right? It would be a very much bothersome task. I don't want to simply waste my resources. So for that kind of use cases, I can use a timer boundary event such that I can only wait for half a day or for 10 minutes. So within that time frame, if I did not receive any inputs, then I would simply skip the flow element. This is all about your BPMN symbols. Then there is one more last and the important one, which is intermediate event. So this is basically you would break up your entire, you can break up your compose your BPMN model into smaller set of flows. So this primarily consists of two type of flows, like node, that is throw type intermediate event, and the another one is a catch type intermediate event. So one will throw the event and another will catch it for you. So basically with the help of this, sometimes your BPMN model would end up very huge, right? And you won't want to just scroll down and go through your BPMN model. You can decompose it or segregate it based upon the intermediate event node. Again, there will be one intermediate event node, which is a throw type intermediate event, which would throw the event, and there is a catch type intermediate event, which will particularly catch that event. Now, as discussed, there are two ways we can design our RPA bot process, candidate RPA bot process. The first one using BPMN editor in our RPA manager. Second one is using an RPA recorder. Now we will be going through the first one, which is the BPMN editor in our RPA manager. So this is a picture which was taken from an RPA manager. So over here we can see this is a BPMN editor. On the left hand side we can see that there is a symbol board where all the BPMN elements are present, which we went through right previously: the start event, end event, bot task, user task, and so on. Now, as I said, each and every bot task would compulsorily contain a start event, without which you cannot implement an RPA bot process. You cannot move further. So there is a start event. Then we can see the blue rectangle, right, with two gear icons. So that is actually the bot task, where your actual implementation would be present or contained and would be actually implemented by RPA developers. Now, if we can, there are also different kind of elements, such as this user task, right? So a rectangle with a symbol, with a user symbol over here, so it represents the user task. Now this is an exclusive gateway. What is an exclusive gateway? It is basically your if else block. So over here I can see, are you sure to purchase tickets? So this is the condition. If no, then I will simply end the RPA bot process. Else I would then see that this would go to the intermediate event. This is the throw type intermediate event, and this is the catch type. This would throw a particular event and this would catch it for you. Once it catches the event, then we will execute this bot task over here, which is proceed to payment page, and then it would simply end event. So if you can see, there is only just one start event, but there can be multiple end events. So this is the use case which we will be automating and we are discussing, right? We will be opening Google Chrome, then navigate to the India Dreaming page, and then book the tickets, fill the form. Then I would just for demo purposes I have entered it over here. Are you sure to purchase tickets? If no, then end the event. If yes, then proceed to the payment page over here. Then is the user task over here. So this needs a human intervention. Now the human needs to go and enter their bank details, purchase the ticket, and once done it would simply end the bot task for RPA bot processing. And the main part over here, we can see the phase indicator. So currently if you can see, this points to the design phase. We are in the design phase. Once we are sure that our bot process has been completely, we have successfully designed it accordingly, then we would click on the publish button over here, and then this would go to the build phase. Now, if suppose we are in the production test or in the build phase, I want to redesign my candidate RPA process, then we can't do it directly over there. We need to again come back to the design phase over here, and then only I can make some changes in my RPA bot process. So this is a standard process we need to follow while designing and building our candidate RPA bot process in Mulesoft RPA. It's the best practice we need to follow for better outcomes. Now, so this is another set of diagram. If you can see that, this is the more simplified version of the RPA bot process over here. So there are also three different kind of icons present. So for whenever I make some changes in my candidate RPA process over here, then I need to click on the save button. Then there is also an import a BPMN model. We can also import a BPMN model from our local system into our RPA manager, and it would edit for you. Now we can also trigger or open my RPA recorder right from my RPA manager. If suppose you don't have it present on your system, it would give a pop-up or and a prompt that you need to download it. Now as said, it only is supported on a Windows machine and not on a Mac or any other operating system, only on Windows. So this is all about it. Now let's build. We will be going through a small demo about how an RPA manager looks and where you can find your BPMN editor in your RPA manager. So over here, once you have secured your access to your RPA manager, your Mulesoft RPA instance, you need to go to my RPA. In my RPA, you can find it under my processes. Now, how it can be visible under my processes? So initially, once you have designed your once you have evaluated that your candidate RPA process is best fit to be automated, we will assign it to either a project manager or a center for enabler team. Now, if you are present in the C4E team, the process would be present under team backlog and you have to claim it for yourself. If you are a project manager, then and it is specifically assigned it to you, then it would directly be present under my backlog. So you have to go to the my backlog and click on the start automating. Once you do that, the RPA bot process, the candidate RPA bot process would be present in this list view under your my processes. So this is present on your my RPA module over here. So you just have to click on your candidate RPA bot process over here. Once you click, then this BPMN editor would be present. So if you can see, this is the BPMN editor and this would be the standard elements present. Now if we can see that there is a start event and there is an RPA bot task over here, I would simply add an end event over here. Okay, and now I'll simply give some name. Okay, RPA demo, and so you can see there are 0 warnings. So as I said, we need to necessarily have a start event, right? This is a start event and this is a end event. What if I delete the start event? See, there are errors over here, right? So if I can show you, I will again have the start event over here, RPA demo, 0 warnings. Now I would again have some, this is an exclusive gateway. I would delete this. I would then, okay, now this over here, yeah, and this. Let me give some name. Okay, so you can see that there are 0 warning. So there can only be one start event, but there can be multiple end events in your BPMN module over here, right? So yes, this is all about your BPMN model. Now this is the standard diagram which I have built, right? So we went through, I just went through this, right? So this is a start event, this is a bot task. We will open Google Chrome, navigate to India Dreaming page and click on the book tickets tab. Over there I have to fill the form. Now this is just for showing you what is exclusive gateway and what are intermediate events, but I have simplified the task over here, right? So there I simplified the task very easily. Now this is the throw type intermediate event. This would throw the event and this would catch that particular event. Then we will go to the proceed payment page. Then it's the user's responsibility to enter the details about the bank details, and then they can purchase the ticket for India Dreamin, and then the RPA bot process execution stops over there, right, successfully. Now once we are sure that this is our RPA bot, we have successfully designed our RPA bot process. I'm reiterating, the primary responsibility is of the business analyst or any individual who has the correct knowledge on the process that needs to be automated should be involved in the design phase. Now once we are sure that we have successfully designed our candidate RPA bot process, we can click on the publish button and then it would move to the build phase over here, right? Now this is all about the option 1, which is using the BPMN editor in our RPA manager. Now in the second video or the next video, we would be going through the second option, which is using the RPA recorder, and this RPA recorder would only be present, only can be used in your local or in a VM or in a virtual machine, Windows, right? The operating system should be Windows. And over here we can see we can save, so whatever changes we make we can save it over here, and then else we can also import our BPMN model directly. So whatever diagrams you construct over here or whatever BPMN model you construct in the back end, when we download this, it will be in the XML format, right? So this is all about your BPMN model. So I will go down over here, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you, and please do watch the next video, which is designing our candidate RPA process using an RPA recorder. Thank you.